The room went silent in the worst possible way. A young girl's cry cut through the classroom like broken glass, and every pair of eyes froze on the torn fabric in a teacher's clenched fist. Fear, shame, and disbelief collided in one terrible second, and no one moved. Then footsteps echoed in the hallway. Calm, steady, unafraid. And everything changed. If stories about courage, compassion, and the quiet power of kindness move your heart, take a moment to subscribe, like, and comment below. Your support helps our channel, Kindness Lights, share more stories that remind us who we can be. Even in our darkest moments, the girl's name was Maya. She was 12, small for her age, and loved drawing sunsets in the margins of her notebooks. She had transferred to the school only a month earlier after her mother passed away. Her father worked long hours, and Maya learned early how to sit quietly, do her work, and stay out of trouble. But that morning, trouble found her. It started with a whisper from the back row. Then a laugh. Then another. Maya felt it before she heard it, the familiar weight of being watched. When the teacher snapped her name, the room felt like it tilted. The accusation came fast and sharp. A dress code violation, the teacher said, eyes cold, voice loud enough to embarrass Maya, stood hands trembling, trying to explain. The dress was her mother's favorite. It fit the rules, it fit her heart, but explanations didn't matter. Anger had already decided the outcome. What happened next was wrong. Plain and simple, the teacher grabbed the fabric to approve a point. The sound of tearing felt louder than a scream. Maya cried out, covering herself, her cheeks burning with humiliation. Some students laughed. Others looked away. A few wanted to help but didn't know how. Kindness in that moment seemed very far away. The door opened. A tall man stepped inside, wearing a dark suit, his face calm but serious. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't rush. He simply took in the room, the torn dress, the crying child, the teacher's clenched jaw, the students frozen in fear. Stop, he said softly. The teacher turned, ready to argue, until she saw his eyes. Not angry, not threatening, just steady and full of something heavier than rage. The man walked to Maya, took off his jacket, and gently wrapped it around her shoulders. He knelt in front of her, meeting her eyes, and spoke quietly, so only she could hear. You're safe now, he said. I've got you. That was her father, a federal judge, but in that moment he wasn't there to judge. He was there to love. He stood and faced the teacher. Still calm, still kind. No one, he said, has the right to humiliate a child. Not ever. He didn't insult her. He didn't threaten her. He simply spoke the truth. Clear and firm, the way truth sounds when it doesn't need to shout. The principal arrived, followed by counselors. Maya was escorted to a quiet room. Her father stayed with her, listening as she spoke through tears, not just about the dress, but about the whispers, the looks, the loneliness she'd been carrying since her mother died. Something unexpected happened next. A student knocked on the door, then another. One by one, kids came in with apologies, with words of support, with drawings and notes and shaky voices saying, "We should have helped." Kindness, once buried under fear, began to rise. The school acted quickly. An investigation followed. The teacher was removed from the classroom. Policies were reviewed. Training was scheduled. But the most powerful change didn't come from paperwork. It came from a conversation. Maya's father asked the school to hold a circle, students, teachers, staff, where people could speak honestly about bias, pain, and responsibility. He didn't demand punishment. He asked for understanding. He asked for growth. He reminded them that kindness isn't weakness. It's courage with compassion. Maya returned to school weeks later. Wearing a new dress, she chose herself. She walked taller. Not because the world had suddenly become perfect, but because she knew she mattered. She knew her voice counted, and she knew that kindness had shown up for her, quietly, powerfully, right when she needed it most. Years later, Maya would say that day changed her life. Not because of the cruelty she experienced, but because of the kindness that followed. The jacket around her shoulders, the calm voice that said, "Or safe," the classmates who learned to stand up, the lesson that justice and kindness can walk hand in hand. Kindness doesn't always arrive with applause. Sometimes it comes as a whisper in a storm, a steady presence, a choice to protect, to listen, to heal. And when it does, it lights the way forward for all of us. If this story touched your heart, carry it with you today. Look for the quiet moments where kindness is needed. Be the one who steps in. Be the one who listens. Be the one who chooses compassion. Because when kindness appears, even seconds too late can still change everything. Pause. Sometimes it comes as a whisper in a storm, a steady presence, a choice to protect, to listen, to heal, and when it does, it lights the way forward for all of us. If this story touched your heart, carry it with you today. Look for the quiet moments where kindness is needed. Be the one who steps in. Be the one who listens. Be the one who chooses compassion. Because when kindness appears, even seconds too late can still change everything. Pause. Sometimes it comes as a whisper in a storm, a steady presence, a choice to protect, to listen, to heal, and when it does, it lights the way forward for all of us. If this story touched your heart, carry it with you today. Look for the quiet moments where kindness is needed. Be the one who steps in. Be the one who listens. Be the one who chooses compassion. Because when kindness appears, even seconds too late can still change everything. Pause. Sometimes it comes as a whisper in a storm, a steady presence, a choice to protect, to listen, to heal, and when it does, it lights the way forward for all of us. If this story touched your heart, carry it with you today. Look for the quiet moments where kindness is needed. Be the one who steps in. Be the one who listens. Be the one who chooses compassion. Because when kindness appears, even seconds too late can still change everything.